Hello, everyone, and welcome. Would everyone please stand for the presentation of the colors presented by the Albuquerque Fire Rescue Color Guard and for the singing of our national anthem sung by Charlotte Martinez.
Oh, say, can he light what so brightly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Everyone can be seated. Good afternoon. I'm Deputy Chief Kevin Ferrando with Albuquerque Fire Rescue. I would like to welcome everyone to the AFR and IAFF Local 244 recognition and promotional ceremony. Here with us this afternoon are City of Albuquerque Mayor Tim Keller, City of Albuquerque Chief Administrative Officer Lawrence Rial, Albuquerque City Councilor Brooke Basson, Albuquerque Fire Chief Emily Jaramillo, our executive staff for Albuquerque Fire Rescue, Chris Romero, Deputy Chief Santos Garcia, Deputy Chief Jimmy Malik, and representing IAFF Local 244 is Union Vice President Greg Montoya. Also in attendance is APD Deputy Chief Michael Smathers. I don't see Josh Brown from APD, he's not here. Okay. Albuquerque Ambulance, new chief of is Julia Hines. Albuquerque Ambulance Deputy Chief Vance Smith. And Albuquerque Ambulance Commander Jonah Miller. ACS Deputy Director Jasmine Disdario. This afternoon's ceremony consists of recognizing several members who have gone above and beyond what is required of them both on and off duty. We will also formally be promoting several members of Albuquerque Fire Rescue. I would like to invite Lieutenant David Myers, who will lead us in the invocation.
Good afternoon. The world is in desperate need of good leaders. Men and women who aren't afraid to do the right thing, the hard thing, and the necessary thing. We need leaders who understand that the world isn't black or white, but wildly complex, infinitely nuanced, and forever lived in the gray. Empathetic people who take seriously the charge of serving people who can never do a single thing for you. That is what we seek. A dedicated collective of those willing to prioritize the other, build up the other, encourage the other for the betterment of the community, for we were all made by community for community. So may we take up this mantle of provision with an unwavering resolve. May we guide with a profound sense of honor and integrity, above and beyond. And may we never lose sight of why we started. Having sworn an oath to serve and protect our beautiful city, may we always carry the heavy burden of stewardship with grace and a tenacious spirit that inspires everyone around us. Gregory Boyle says, "Only the soul that ventilates the world with tenderness has any chance of changing the world." That's our prayer. Amen.
Thank you, Lieutenant Myers. At this time, I would like to now invite Mayor of Albuquerque, Tim Keller, to say a few words.
Well, good afternoon. And I want to thank everyone, first and foremost, for being here to support either the department or the city or a friend or a loved one. Thank you so much for joining us today. And this is truly a special occasion in the city of Albuquerque, anytime we do promotions, especially among our first responders. And for us, we know that above and beyond, we always try and honor the work that you do each and every day. But as part of that also means me personally saying thank you. So I want to thank the men and women who wear badges in this room from all departments. On behalf of the city, but also on behalf of myself and my family, thank you for your service. Families, let's acknowledge that as well. Now, one of my favorite events as your mayor is actually promotional ceremonies and cadet graduations. And I know I see our cadets over there. They're going to be up here soon, as long as they stick with it. I know they're not quite through yet, but I want to acknowledge them. Cadets, hang in there. You're almost part of one of the finest departments in the country. Let's give our cadets a round of applause. Now, to the friends and family members who are here today to celebrate these promotions, it's not lost on any of you the hard work and the effort that is put in to get these promotions. Your loved ones, your friends, your family, they are now stepping up in rank, literally. But part of that stepping up in rank, of course, means not just getting a new badge with an extra trumpet or an extra bugle, but it means assuming a leadership role or taking that leadership role to the next step in our city. And this is something that I think was so wonderfully reflected in the benediction that we just heard. The notion that we need leaders in our society today. And we also need leaders among each and every team that's working out in our city. And that's in many ways what each of you is now going to be a part of. For some of you, it's a lot of additional paperwork. We do want to acknowledge that. But behind that paperwork is all of the policies and procedures that keep your team safe, that keep your crew so that they can come home each and every night to their family that's here with them today. We know also it means decision making. It means that burden of responsibility of making decisions that may save a life, that may also prevent a life from being lost. These are the kinds of burdens that you also will have to bear. But it's a privilege, it's an honor, and it's something that we need in the city of Albuquerque, and it's something that we're grateful for. So as you pin on that new badge today, I also want you to reflect on what's behind that badge. You have, of course, your friends and family, many of which are here today. You've got your coworkers who have no doubt helped you study for the exams, encouraged you to step up and rise in the ranks at AFR. But I also know you have an entire city behind you, whether it's the men and women in Albuquerque who are grateful for your service, whether they need you when you come to their house, or whether they've never needed you and they're grateful for that, but they know you're out there if they need to make that call to 911. And so that is behind that badge, but also behind that badge is a city team. Whether it's APD supporting on calls, whether it's our community safety department taking calls so you don't have to take them, or it's even our administration, our CEO, Lawrence Real, and our city council, trying to do what we can with respect to budget and resources. And we know that while there's always ups and downs in departments, there's ebbs and flows of compensation, availability, and things of that nature that we're not going to talk about today. I am proud to say this. This department is better funded and bigger than it ever has been in the history of City of Albuquerque. That is awesome, and that makes me proud to live in Albuquerque. So with that, I will just say congratulations to each and every one of you, and welcome to the One Albuquerque team. You're part of a whole lot behind that badge, and we're grateful that you're stepping up to the next rank. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Thank you, Mayor Keller. I would like to now invite Fire Chief Emily Jaramillo up to say a few words.
I want to start by having everybody that is here being recognized or promoted to give your family and friends that have supported you up to this point a round of applause. We know that without everybody supporting us that we wouldn't be here, so if we could give everybody a round of applause that helped us get here. Everybody's way taller than I am. Thank you to all of our firefighters and their families for being here today to recognize the hard work of our members getting promoted, as well as those being recognized for their service. On behalf of Fire Administration, we all appreciate each one of you for taking on the challenge to promote into the next rank within our department. Thank you to Mayor Keller and his administration, City Council, and everyone else that is here to support our department and members being recognized today. Once the decision is made to upgrade and test to the next rank, there are many additional responsibilities our firefighters take on. There are certification classes you must pass. Once you're upgradable, you float across the city, sometimes multiple times in a shift, which I know many of you have had to do, to cover vacancies across the city. To get here today, you sacrifice time away from your family and friends to study, to be successful in the very competitive promotional process that AFR has. You are also demonstrating your commitment to serving our community in positions that are crucial to our ability to staff trucks and provide services. For those of you promoting to driver today, you have the ultimate responsibility to keep our members and community safe as you navigate large, heavy apparatus to emergency calls. Do not take this lightly. And remember, the safety of our personnel and citizens is our #1 priority as we respond. Drivers also play a critical role in mentoring our new firefighters as they come into the stations and are figuring out exactly how to apply everything they learned in the academy. So as you serve in your new positions, think about what type of mentor you want to be to our newer generation of firefighters. For our lieutenants and captains that are promoting today, I believe your ranks are the single most influential leadership positions that we hold in our department. You are the leaders that get on the trucks day in and day out for every emergency response, that train, manage personnel, manage divisions, provide behavioral health support, and communicate and enforce policies and procedures. You are the ones that experience a problem with a policy or procedure and come to us with the alternatives or solutions to help us make changes. The company officer leadership role is the one that has the most direct contact with our members. I ask you to reflect on the kind of leader you want to be. Your attitude and expectations will set the tone for the members on your truck and station and will influence young firefighters as they navigate their own careers. Finally, for our battalion chiefs promoting today, you are in even a smaller group of leadership roles so critical to our department. You are in the tough position of being middle management, where you have dozens of firefighters that you supervise. You have to communicate the vision and policies being implemented by administration while advocating for the needs of your personnel. Your firefighters look up to you as the one that has all of the answers, and your opinions and ideas are incredibly influential to the members you supervise. I ask that you reflect on your own leadership, how you will inspire those under your command, and how we can work together to accomplish common goals. And finally, to all the firefighters here today, do not lose sight of the reasons that each of us felt called to become a firefighter, to serve the city that we love. No matter what your rank, every member of our department, both sworn and civilian, is valued and part of our team. We have many obstacles in our community and our department, and I truly believe if we work together, we can overcome anything we are faced with. Again, congratulations to everyone for your promotion and recognition today. We are here to support you and help you be successful as you embark out in your new positions. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Jaramillo. I would like to now invite IF Local 244 Vice President Greg Montoya to say a few words.
All right. Good afternoon, family and friends and distinguished guests. Thank you all for joining our fire family as we usher in the next generation of great leadership within our ranks and recognize the commitment of excellence and outstanding job performance of our members. In the spirit of rich history and foundational traditions in the fire service, let us acknowledge that where we are in 2023 has everything to do with the firefighters that came before us. Their sacrifice and fortitude led to necessary and constant change that present when responding to our community's emergencies. If you're a retired firefighter that has served our or any other community, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. This lesson can be best expressed through Sir Winston Churchill's words: the farther backwards you could look, the farther forward you could see. Since March is Women's History Month, I would like to recognize the history of women in the fire service. The first woman firefighter we know of was Molly Williams, who was a slave in New York and became a member of Oceanus Engine Company 11 in about 1815. Over 200 years later, women have prevailed in the fire service, overcoming much adversity and discrimination, proving they are more than capable of being held to the same physical standards as their male counterparts, earning the respect of their peers and paving the way for future generation of female firefighters. On March 6th, AFR created history of its own by appointing the first female fire chief in our 223-year history, Fire Chief Emily Jaramillo. Our profession is defined by the delicate balance of honoring and learning from a long list of sacrifices made by those who came before us, along with anticipating and planning for future challenges that can be difficult, if not impossible, to see, in a profession where we literally respond to any and all hazards present, with our health, safety, and psyche repeatedly threatened. It is incumbent on the frontline drivers and officers to be many things, both versed in the intricacies of being a good subordinate, as well as steadfast in the leadership and direction of firefighters. both trained and educated, both experienced and fresh, both ready for what is known and adaptable to what is unknown. How exciting it is to see these firefighters with shiny new badges and silver or gold bugles going to be neatly pinned to their collar. That once upon a short time ago, they set a goal to attain. A goal some set out on day one. They all envisioned themselves in this role, preparing as they progressed through their career up to now, learning from those they served under, cultivating their leadership skills. All have dedicated countless hours to perfecting their craft, countless hours studying the doctrine of firefighting in the form of books, policy, EMS protocols, standard operating guidelines, and collective bargaining contracts. Refreshing it is to think of all these drivers and officers, 19 drivers, 3 lieutenants, 4 captains, 2 battalion chiefs, and our new fire chief, putting to work this freshly absorbed fire doctrine in their new roles, responding with precision and sharpening their skills every time the tones go off, using their knowledge and skills to mentor and train the next generation of firefighters, drivers, and company officers, utilizing their leadership to affect positive attitudes of subordinates and lead by example. Those roles and responsibilities are not to be taken lightly. For most of you, having firefighters or a crew be under your guiding hand, their health, and sometimes live, depending on your decision, is a fresh concept. Let the weight of this concept be career-lasting and without decay, for this is truly your calling. Remember that your leadership and consistency of your example will have lasting effects that will span generations of firefighters. Just as the retirees who sit here today, as well as the ones who are not with us anymore, and our mentors had on us. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. John Quincy Adams. Remember that you are not only responsible for your crew's life, limb, and inspiration, but also of their health and wellness. Keep a keen sense on the effects this job has on the psyche of men and women. The traumatic nature, the difficult schedule, the sleep deprivation, among many others, all can have detrimental effects to us as well as our families at home. The same family members that got you here today, that supported you while you read that chapter one more time, that watched your kids while you put in a couple extra hours, that quizzed you on the functions of command, types of building construction. I would like to recognize all the spouses, partners, mother, father, siblings, family members, and friends. Thank you. We thank you for your sacrifice, as it is you that allows us to give so much of ourselves to our community. Now it is incumbent on you as leaders to be so many things for your crew, your families, and your community. I close with the hope of instilling the intention of the unattainable goal, yet one that we should all aspire to attain, and that is balance. The old and the new, the job and home, leading and following, speaking and listening. It is no easy thing, yet I know that all of you have the ultimate advantage, and that is you get to do it with the best firefighters in the country for the best fire department in the country. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, Vice President Montoya. At this time, we will now recognize those individuals who have made a real difference by going above and beyond and demonstrating outstanding service to their community. In August, Rescue 16 and Engine 16 responded with Albuquerque ambulance to a 31 Delta that turned into a cardiac arrest. Personnel worked on the patient for 20 minutes, regained pulses, and quickly identified the patient was suffering from an MI. The patient was transported to Presbyterian downtown, where they were able to clear a full occlusion in her heart. The patient made a full recovery and is related to a flight paramedic with lifeguard who recommended Rescue 16 and Engine 16 personnel for recognition for their life-saving events. Will the following individuals please come forward to be recognized? From Engine 16, Lieutenant Clayton Vincent. Driver Javier Jaramillo. Firefighter Elijah McKnight. Firefighter Randy Griego. From Rescue 16, Lieutenant Corey Land. And driver Jeff Clark. Job, guys. On the afternoon of December 11th, AFR was dispatched to reports of a residential structure fire in Station 11's Run District. The acts of bravery, heroism, skill, and execution of tasks led to 2 lives being saved by AFR personnel. Engine 11 was on scene of an outside fire a few blocks away when the dispatch came out. Engine 11 arrived on scene and declared a working fire with heavy flame and smoke showing. Engine 11 also reported 1 patient with smoke inhalation on the sidewalk. Due to the smoke inhalation, the patient was unable to give additional information about the presence of anyone else inside the structure. Rescue 11 made the initial contact with the patient and determined he was stable enough to wait for the next arriving rescue. Medic 12 arrived shortly after and took over treatment of the patient. Rescue 11, knowing that there may have been other occupants in the house, knowing that the house needed to be searched, made entry into the structure. As Engine 11 stretched the handline into the structure to search for occupants and fire, Rescue 11 performed a search offline. The fire attack and search were performed under extremely difficult fire conditions. During these operations, Rescue 11 was able to locate an unconscious woman in a nearby bedroom. Rescue 11 reported priority traffic and removed the patient to the exterior. The patient was not breathing and did not have a pulse. They began working the code with the help of Rescue 5 and Unit 7-8. The patient regained a pulse. AS arrived on scene, and AS, along with Rescue 11 personnel, transported the patient to the hospital. Will the following individuals please come forward to be recognized? From Engine 11, Lieutenant Andres Montoya. Firefighter who was updated driver, Greg Saavedra. Firefighter Matthew Otero. Firefighter Alana Duggar. Rescue 11 personnel, paramedic driver Scott Barlow. Paramedic driver Carlos Miranda. Rescue 5 personnel, paramedic Lieutenant Victoria Size. Paramedic driver Nicholas Menapace. Medic 12, Captain Catherine Basil. Paramedic Lieutenant John Moraine. And lastly, Unit 7-8 Captain, paramedic Rob Laprie. Great job, everyone. During an involved structure fire, the personnel from Rescue 18 C Shift entered an involved structure fire to perform a primary search and located and removed a victim. After pulling the victim out of the fire, they immediately started to perform life-saving measures. They continued treating the victim and prepped him for transport with Rescue 17 personnel assisting in patient care. The quick actions of Engine 18 for fire suppression gave Rescue 18 the opportunity to search and locate the victim. Without the suppression efforts, a search would have been impossible. We are therefore recognizing Rescue 17, Rescue 18, and Engine 18 personnel for their heroic efforts during this event. Will the following individuals please come forward to be recognized? From Rescue 18, Lieutenant Tomas Maestas. Rescue driver, Reed Page. Personnel assisting with the treatment and transport are Lieutenant Jeff Forney, driver Gabriel Playo Pino, and firefighter David Plaza. Also, Engine 18 personnel, Captain Max Heyman, driver Ezequiel Padilla, firefighter Charles Sanchez, and firefighter Carlos Romero. Great job, guys. We will now recognize the members promoted over the last few months to the rank of driver. With those members being recognized for promoting to the rank of driver, please come forward. So I'll have everyone line up on the south wall here for driver. And I realize many of you already have your badges. If you could remove those, and we'll have those repinned by family and friends. Since there's a handful of drivers, I'm going to go ahead and call you guys up in a couple of different groups for the pinning ceremony. Congratulations to promoted drivers, Steven Bonzanella, Spencer Bloom, Brennan Chambers, Derek Cravens, and Andrew Crispin. If you guys will line up in front of the stage, you can invite your family and friends up for the pinning. Just in front of the stage, guys. And if family and friends will come up, you can now pin the driver's badges on your newly promoted drivers. Congratulations, guys. If you want to make your way to the back, you can pick up your collar hardware. Next group will be David Crispin, Caleb Dixon, David Ferris, Sun Ha, Holly Huffins, and Chase Langlois. If family and friends would like to come up for the pinning. Congratulations, drivers. Will Jeremiah Lucero please come up? Denver Miller. Carlos Santiago. And Jeffrey Smelzer. Will family and friends please come up for the pinning? Congratulations, drivers. We will now recognize those promoted to paramedic driver. Antonio Barada, Robert Jaramillo, Fook May, Timothy Matthews, and Angelo Pacheco. If family and friends will come up for the pinning. Congratulations, drivers. We will now recognize the members promoted over the last few months to the rank of lieutenant. Would those members being recognized for promoting to the rank of lieutenant please come forward? If paramedic lieutenant, Manuel Martinez, please come forward. Suppression Lieutenant David Myers. And Suppression Lieutenant Steve Nelson. If family and friends will please come up for the pinning. Congratulations, lieutenants. We will now be recognizing the members promoted over the last few months to the rank of captain. Would each member being recognized from promoting to captain please come forward? Captain Orlando Baca. Captain Matthew Burnham. Captain Josh Cisneros. And Captain Doug Herron. If family and friends will please come up for the pinning. Congratulations, captains. We will now recognize the members promoted over the last few months to the rank of battalion chief. Would each member being recognized for promoting to the rank of battalion chief please come forward? Battalion Chief Will McMullen and Battalion Chief Pete Dromosevich. Will family please come up to pin Will? Congratulations, Battalion Chief. This concludes the promotional portion of the ceremony. At this time, I would like to invite Mayor Keller, who would like to say a few words.
All right, well, congratulations to all our promotees. And that transition was a little bit off, right? We've got one other promotion to recognize here today. And so, I think I want to share a few things with you about promoting a chief. First and foremost, by far and away, the most important thing any mayor does is appoint the leaders of our city, the people who lead our city each and every day. And of course, when it comes to our first responders, first and foremost, it's the chiefs of those departments. And so I know even when I ran for this job, none of the firefighters cared about who was going to be mayor. They just wanted to know who's going to be chief of fire. And that is for a good reason, because it is an extremely important job. And, for us, we also wanted to acknowledge that, look, all promotions obviously are important. Now, the one at the top matters a lot, no doubt about that. But I do want to acknowledge we made a commitment as a city when our administration came in that we were going to celebrate promotions as a community, as a city, with department leaders and with the department itself and with members of the community and even the public. And believe it or not, that had not been done in the past. And I shared this with you because we have done this for every single promotion ceremony, even during the pandemic, in police and fire since our administration came in. And that, I think, is a wonderful thing for our city, to share this great moment. Now, when it comes to actually promoting a chief of our fire rescue, that also doesn't come around very often. This is the third appointment I've been honored to make. But I know this one was a little bit different, and I do want to share with you why. A couple of reasons why. First and foremost, when our former chief, Gallegos, when he said that he was going to move on and he was, had his para and all these things everyone here understands, there was zero hesitation who should be the next chief. Normally we go through interviews. Sometimes we might have a search process and so forth. And all of us agreed we don't even have to. It's obvious who the next chief of fire rescue should be. And so Emily brings so much to this job, and she's been ready for it for some time. I do want to share with you a little bit about her bio, because I know many of you know her, but some of you who are less familiar. She started with fire rescue in 2005. She's worked in a variety of positions as firefighter, paramedic within AFR, prior to becoming Deputy Chief of Emergency Services in 2018. And in this role, she oversaw the emergency medical services, the HEART team, AFR records, quality assurance, pharmacy, EMS, training divisions, and firefighter health and safety. And she's also covered field operations and human resources throughout her tenure as Deputy Chief. Now, I also know that she's the first deputy. We'll talk about a couple of firsts, but that was a designation we came up with because we believed that just in case something happens to the chief, from time to time, it's good to have a first deputy. And that's also why this was such an easy choice for us to make, because Emily had already been training, already been ready for this position. Now, she's a proven leader within AFR, and she's demonstrated skill and integrity and unparalleled knowledge of the department and, most importantly, the department's values. So we're very fortunate to have Emily stepping up in this role. And I also want to share with you, in addition to that biography, she also had the distinction, randomly, of being assigned to help me at your academy in our Fire Ops 101. And I will tell you a story. I remember I was using the hose, which all our firefighters have done this. It's really heavy, just so you know, and it's actually hard to control if you haven't ever used one of these. So I got the chance to do this. This is what Fire Ops 101 was all about. And the governor's out there, and a bunch of other people are doing this. And I'm sitting here like hosing down this fire. I mean, it's just a cakewalk. And I'm kind of wondering, like, why is this so easy? It's because Emily was carrying the entire hose. And she was doing all the work. And so she's been doing that for some time. And I know in many ways that is actually a metaphor for what she does and lives for each and every day. She does the real work. She carries that burden for all of us. She makes it look easy for the rest of us. So I am grateful to appoint Emily Jaramillo to this position. And of course, there's that other first, which we do need to acknowledge. But before I acknowledge it, I want to say that Emily has earned this job through and through based on her background. But it is, of course, extra special in the city of Albuquerque when we can break a glass ceiling that probably should have been broken a long time ago. And I want to let you know that she, of course, as was stated earlier, will be the first woman fire chief in the history of our department, in the 123-year history of our department. She joins only 6% of the departments all across America. And so we are grateful for that. Let's give her a big round of applause. So it is with tremendous honor on behalf of the City of Albuquerque and all firefighters across our country that we are commissioning our new Chief of Fire Rescue, Emily Jaramillo. Come on up to the front, and her family would love to join us. They're here.
Congratulations, Chief Jaramillo.
Thank you, Mayor. I didn't bring my water, so hopefully I don't get as bad of dry mouth as I did on the other speech. I want to start out with a quote that has truly motivated me my entire life. I'm not quite sure who the original author is or what work this epic literary masterpiece might be documented in. but it is something that I've heard many versions of since as early as I can remember. And I have a feeling there are many others in here that may recognize some version of it. You can't do that because you're a girl. My whole career as a firefighter started out because I had an AFD recruiter in my high school English classroom. I was a teacher at the Juvenile Detention Center, and he told my students that the department was actively recruiting women. And the fire chief is actually here that was recruiting at that time. He explained that it had been several years since a woman had passed the physical fitness test. I was already looking for a career change, wanted to continue to serve the community, but really, I wanted to go past that physical fitness test that he spoke of. And I didn't just want to pass the test. I trained very hard because I wanted to make a statement that the test was indeed something a woman could go and crush. Because there's something sacred about being the first. You have to then set forth to ensure that you are not the last. From the moment I set foot in the fire academy, I had countless mentors in the department that helped encourage and guide me in areas to better the department and achieve my own professional goals. And I invited some of them here today. These are not just officers. Firefighter Keith Quinones was one of my mentors at Station 1, and I wouldn't be here without the people that I've worked with in the past. I had countless mentors that helped encourage and guide me in areas to better, sorry, I think I just repeated myself, to better the department and achieve my own professional goals. I would not be here today without all the people in my life, both personally and professionally, that believed in me and helped me navigate a career where less than 5% of our profession is made up of women. I would like to thank Mayor Keller, CAO Real, and the administration for having the confidence in me to lead our department and carry out goals important to our firefighters and the City of Albuquerque. I would also like to thank my mother, Zyga, for epitomizing the role of a strong woman in my life. And I would also like to thank my biggest cheerleaders, my children, Isaiah and Aviel, who put up with all of the after-hours work Mommy has to take care of. And I would also like to thank all of the firefighters that are in my very small circle of inner circle of advisors that keep me in touch with the needs of our members and departmental operations. Firefighters are amazing humans. We spend 1/3 of our lives living away from our families at a fire station while responding to people during the worst moments of their lives. AFR firefighters provide cutting-edge emergency medical care and fire suppression services, as well as essential community support services through programs like ADAPT and HEART. And even with the ever-increasing demands on our department, we still maintain our ISO rating of 1, and last week received our accreditation from the Center for Public Safety Excellence. But what the public doesn't always see are the acts of compassion made by our members. They don't see our firefighters helping unsheltered people in the middle of a cold night when there are no services available, holding the hand of a grieving loved one that has just lost a family member as we deliver a death notification, caring for children until CYFD is available to get them away from a crime scene, or helping other city departments address problem properties to do our part to make the city safer. I could go on and on listing the amazing acts of compassion and empathy our firefighters carry out every day. As the next fire chief, I am committed to continuing to strive for excellence as a department without losing sight of compassion and the fundamentals of fire service. AFR has many challenges, and our administration will tackle these head-on. We will have a long-term plan and vision with achievable solutions to make our systems within AFR more sustainable. We will communicate and listen with intention, and above all, our administration will ensure that we are improving our services to the community while taking care of the needs of our boots on the ground. And for all of the young ladies sitting in the room today, including my daughter, or for anyone that has ever been told that they can't or shouldn't be able to do something because of who they are, I want you to take those statements from naysayers and use them to empower and motivate you to achieve all of your dreams. Mayor Keller, thank you from the bottom of my heart for this opportunity. Thank all of you for this opportunity to serve our city and firefighters. And to all of our firefighters, our administration looks forward to moving our department in a positive direction. Thank you.
This concludes our recognition and promotional ceremony. I would like to invite everyone to enjoy refreshments provided by IAFF Local 244. Feel free to walk around and take photos of your loved ones. Thank you.